Welcome to Doodle Healing, the Warrior Way podcast, where your life is your masterpiece. I'm Cindy Bayless, your Doodle Warrior Coach, here to help you turn self-doubt into unshakable confidence, rediscover your purpose, and create a life you can't wait to wake up to. Grab your favorite pen and let's doodle your way to clarity, joy, and freedom, one episode at a time. I want to talk about purpose today, but not in the way it usually gets talked about. Not the shiny version, not the find your purpose, find your calling version, not the version that makes it sound like if you didn't figure this out by now, you somehow missed your window. I want to talk about purpose the way it actually shows up for women over 50. It shows up quietly, uncomfortably, usually in the middle of a normal day when nothing is technically wrong. But something inside of you knows there's more for you. For a lot of women, this question doesn't come when life is falling apart. It comes when life is fine. The kids are older. You've done what you were supposed to do. You've handled responsibility. You've supported people. You've shown up. And then one day you notice this thought drifting through your mind. Is this it? Not in a dramatic way. Not in a crisis way. Just wondering. And that wondering can feel scary because at this age, you're very aware of time. You know, people die in their 50s and 60s. You know, this isn't a dress rehearsal. And suddenly the pressure just creeps in. Pressure to figure it out. Pressure to do something meaningful. Maybe even significant. Pressure not to waste what's left. So I want to offer 3 truths about purpose for women over 50. Not rules, not steps, just some truths I've lived into slowly. Sometimes reluctantly and honestly. Truth number 1. Purpose is not something you miss. I used to think purpose was something you discovered. Like if you listened hard enough, prayed hard enough, waited long enough, it would show up one day fully formed and obvious. What I've learned is that for most women, purpose doesn't derive like that. It shows up as responsibility. Maybe it shows up as raising your kids, holding your marriage together, paying the bills, taking care of your parents, keeping things running. Somewhere along the way, you get very good at doing what needs to be done. Anybody? So good, in fact, that you stop asking what you want to do. That's why purpose can feel confusing at this stage, not because it's gone, but because you've been making decisions based on duty for a very long time. When my kids were younger, I didn't question my purpose. It was obvious. It was visible. It was needed. But as my kids grew up and they needed me differently, that clarity faded. And instead of purpose disappearing, I realized something else had happened. I had stopped deciding. Purpose doesn't expire when the significant things happen in your life. It just stops being handed to you. At this age, purpose becomes something you choose intentionally, not something life assigns you automatically. And that can feel a little uncomfortable because choice comes with responsibility, but it's also powerful. Truth number 2. Feeling behind is often a sign that you're waking up. One of the most common thoughts I hear from women over 50 is this: I feel like I should be further along by now. That thought can sound like shame, but underneath it is awareness. Awareness that time matters. Awareness that you don't want to drift. Awareness that you want your life to mean something to you, not to just look acceptable to everyone else. I remember reading a comment from a woman online who said, I feel like I've already done all of the significant things in my life, and there's nothing significant left. She was in her 70s. That comment stopped me cold, because that thought doesn't just sound sad, it feels like despair, like life slowly shrinking instead of expanding. And it made me ask myself, who decides what is significant? For a long time, significance gets defined for us. It's graduating from college, marriage, babies, career milestones. And then when those boxes are checked, it can feel like the big moments are over. But purpose doesn't end when society runs out of gold stars to give you. Feeling behind isn't a failure. It's the moment you realize you get to define significance for yourself now. That realization can feel heavy at first because it removes the script, but it also opens the door to a kind of purpose that's more personal, more honest, and more aligned with who you actually are right now. Truth number 3: purpose grows through action, not clarity. This is the one most women don't want to hear because we're tired and we want certainty. But purpose doesn't usually come with a clear plan. It comes with movement. Small movement, maybe at first, imperfect movement, movement that feels a little scary and a little exciting all at the same time. I didn't wake up one day knowing exactly how my work would look or where it would lead. I took steps before I felt ready. I tried new things. I learned what fit and what doesn't. And every step clarifies the next one. Waiting for clarity kept me stuck. Taking action created clarity. Purpose is built, not found. It's shaped by what you choose to take seriously. If you don't take yourself seriously, your purpose will always feel vague. If you do, it starts to solidify. Not all at once, but enough to keep going. What this looks like in real life. Purpose for women over 50 can look like deciding your life isn't winding down, that it's just changing. Choosing to develop something you care about, even if it's late by someone else's timeline. Letting go of what society calls significant and defining it for yourself. Taking your inner nudges seriously instead of dismissing them. Purpose doesn't have to be loud to be real. Purpose has to be chosen. At this age, time is no longer theoretical. We know waiting has a cost, but purpose doesn't require urgency or panic. Honesty about what matters to you now, honesty about what you're no longer willing to ignore. That honesty is the beginning of a purpose. This is where the Doodle You Daily Reset comes in, not as a way to figure everything out, but as a way to listen to yourself again. When you slow down and let your thoughts come out on paper, you start to see what's been quietly running the show. And you start to notice what you care about right now, not 10 years ago. Purpose doesn't need a grand announcement. It just needs space to breathe. Thanks for listening to Doodle Healing the Warrior Way podcast, where your life is your masterpiece. If today's episode inspired you, make sure to subscribe and share it with a friend who needs a little encouragement. Want more? Grab my free Doodle Your Vision Board guide. The link is in the description below. Remember, you are the warrior of your story. Your life, your masterpiece.